Well, Dabo does it again. 31-24 in overtime. They lose another close game. Questionable decision making on him, as well as Garrett Riley in those final plays that led to and helped set up Florida State's victory. Now, I don't want to focus too much attention on Clemson here and some of their deficiencies and what led them to allow Florida State to get back into this game. My main focus is how this really portrays who Florida State is as a team. I think some might try to use this as an opportunity to say Florida State's deficiencies continue to show up. I see the opposite. I saw a team that played a really good defense, that came to play, a Florida State team that was on the road, and they were prepared in very close, tight, late game situations. They also showed the resiliency to fight back, to get back in this game, and then to win it in overtime. I said this leading into the game. Clemson's secondary was really good. Their defensive line was really good. They locked down Florida State's run game, which is such a huge strength for them. And they also were really, really tight on coverage on Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. There were not a lot of situations where those guys that are naturally jump ball winners were able to come down with the football. Now, Keon Coleman, the winning touchdown, ends up being the signature play, him going up, plucking the ball out of the air, coming right back down. That's the type of player that he is. But because of how talented that Clemson roster is, that defense is, there are tons of early draftable NFL players on that Clemson defense. I really think that that is proof when Florida State comes down the line when they have to play. Maybe it's Miami in the ACC championship game. Maybe it's UNC, whoever that is, when they have to play the next best team in the ACC at the end of the year. They can come out in a close game and win it because you've got Jordan Travis, who is a fighter with a shoulder injury last week, fought through it, took some difficult hits, and still stayed in this game. But most importantly, you just have the veteran experience that does not lose their demeanor whatsoever in important situations. I also think that once we get to the college football playoff, that if they have to play Georgia or a Michigan, any of those teams, that they're going to fight all four quarters. A lot of people wanted to use that Boston College game as proof of them being weak. And I turn back to you here with their win over Clemson to say, close game, good team, on the road, they can do it. I really do think that Clemson, though, is going to finish with a decent record this year. I don't think that the floor is going to completely fall out like some people are going to use this as an opportunity to say. That's still at the very least a 9-win team. Maybe 8 if things don't go according to plan. I see that they can win the rest of their schedule. Maybe they end up losing to Notre Dame when that game does come around. But I think that Clemson has shown that they've got a young quarterback who can make plays, who is improving, who is playing within the offensive scheme. As long as they don't make boneheaded decisions with the play calling, they will be just fine. They're going to put up a fight with any good team that they play in the ACC the rest of the season. Last bit that I have to say here, and maybe some people get upset that I'm taking this angle. The story with Clemson bringing back the graduate student kicker who was going to start his new job while he was finishing up schooling. They kept talking about it throughout the game. He hits that one field goal earlier. It's a feel-good story. He goes on to miss what would have been the winning kick in this game. And I'm not putting anything on that kid. That is a really difficult circumstance. Me being a former specialist in college at a Division I program, I know how hard it can be to step in. First time ever being placed in a high pressure situation ever. It's hard. It's hard. That is a hard kick to make. But I think that is proof that Dabo has completely missed the mark, not fully committing to, or not even fully committing, but at least being willing to use the transfer portal. They clearly did not have talent at the kicker position after, I'm blanking on the kid's name. The kid who was there last year left, and I think he had a shot at the NFL. I don't believe he made a roster. But they had a guy who was there for a very long time, was one of the best kickers in program history, and they clearly did not have a replacement for him. And when you notice that, there are tons of kickers across the country. There are plenty of options across the country that they could have gone to an FCS program, a G5 program, like so many other schools in the SEC, Big Ten. Notre Dame has done it the past couple of years, that they could have gone and gotten a transfer portal kicker. Instead, he has to resort to bringing a kid back onto the roster that was a graduate student that was about to start his job, that has to play in the biggest game of his life after not even knowing that he was going to be a member of this team. That to me just epitomizes Dabo being unwilling to commit to the advancement of college football and why he continues to be held back. It's going to catch up to you eventually, and it's already done so. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check out Bet Online for all of your sports betting needs. For anything that I do betting related, I go on over to betonline.ag and I use promo code BELIEVE50. BetOnline has all of the latest updated odds for the NFL and college football seasons. Anything you need, whether it's futures, live in-game betting, no matter what, your football betting needs are met at BetOnline. And again, make sure you use that promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50 to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.